Welcome back. This afternoon, you're listening to the Todd Laborowitz Show, Real Estate Radio on Sound Broadcast Network, WRC 1260 AM. I'm your host, Todd Laborowitz, and we're now speaking with John Gregory, a real estate agent with Washington Fine Properties. Well, welcome.
Thank you, Tom.
And now let's explain Washington Fine Properties, because when we think of that title, we think of like multi-million-dollar houses. You guys cover a whole range.
We do, Todd, and definitely in the upper brackets, Washington Fine Properties is the major player. You know, $2 million and above, practically. We really control a lot of that market. But what a lot of people don't realize is that Washington Fine Properties also 53% of its business is under $1 million. And I think what's really important is that kind of regardless of where what price point you're at, we pride ourselves on providing a very high level of service.
How many agents are with this company?
There are about 125, and we've probably hired 5 or 6 in the past year. And one of the big differences between Washington Fine Properties and our competitors is that there are 4 principles, and I think we just celebrated our 15th anniversary. When they decided to form this company, it was on a beach. That's correct. The folklore is that the 4 of them met and were in other professions and came up with this master plan that they devised and they've implemented very successfully. And as part of that plan, they said, we're never going to have more than 125 agents. So that's a real difference between Washington Fine Properties and our competitors. Some of our competitors interview 125 people a month, hire 100, and then they're out the door in 2 months. Washington Fine Properties, it's an honor to be there, and there's a winnowing down of the people that are there. Most of the agents have 20, 30 years experience, and there's a real culture of civility, collegiality, and a true emphasis on cooperation. If you look at our numbers, a lot of the properties are sold within the company. They're actually the listing agent and the buying agent will actually come from within the company because people have such a strong network. They've been in the business for a long time. So that's one reason we went to the company. We actually joined Washington Fine Properties in January of this year.
Okay. And it's an amazing experience because you have this company that deals with a lot of the jumbos, and then you have a whole bunch of other real estate agents that are able to handle the market as well for properties that are under $1 million in the area.
Yeah, and I mean, and as I was saying, we try to we bring the same high level of service. We have a very detailed marketing plan that we use in all cases.
Is this for buyers or listing agents?
This is on the listing side. I'm sorry.
Okay.
And we'll take the seller through it. He can hold us accountable based on the deliverables that are in this plan. We maintain, communications, very, very important, because, a house could sell in the neighborhood that might have an impact on the price. It could, hopefully, in this market, it's going to be a comp that's higher. That, as a seller, you need to know that because if you're thinking about your pricing and where it is, vis-a-vis the competition, you really need to stay current. And we stay on top of that for our sellers.
And Jim was talking before about if you sell it by yourself or
Yeah, we get this a lot. And
it's 15% more, I think.
Yeah, the National Association of Realtors have done studies that, on average, using an agent can net you 15% more. What happens? I admire people that think they can sell it themselves. I guess it's like practicing law. You think you can do it, but and if it goes well, as long as things go well, yeah, I guess you can. But if that model really worked, it'd be much more prevalent in the marketplace. And the fact of the matter is, for the most part, the people that are attracted to a for sale by owner are referred to as bottom feeders, or they're investors. They're people that are looking for a deal because they realize that this person is kind of doing it on their own. He's thinking
Is it bottom
savings.
feeders, or is it the ones that are looking to take advantage of a situation?
Yeah, bottom feeder is a little bit derogatory term, but yeah, it's people that are looking for a deal for the most part.
Right.
And quite often the pricing is for sale by owners not really sure of the pricing. The pricing can, again, on comps could change. So there's obviously a number of steps in the process, and selling the house is not easy, but it's not the most difficult. And getting to settlement, there's a lot of things that have to be done to get to the closing table.
So let's talk. You have someone's selling their house, and you're going in, and you're probably they're looking at three people. You go in, you have your presentation of why and how you can sell their house. Other people are going to have theirs, and I'm not asking you to put all your secrets on the table, but is that how it typically is done? Because we were talking about shopping around before and finding the right person. Like, what are some key things about you to be one of those three people to give a?
Yeah, well, I think our strength. I'm part of a three-person team. It's my wife, who's the team leader, and my son and myself. And with three full-time agents, and my wife's been in real estate all her life. I've been doing it for 10 years, and now my son's been doing it for 5. And it's all we do, and we eat it, sleep, probably spend too much time on it. So you definitely want a full-time agent. There are a number of agents out there that, have other jobs, can't return phone calls because they until after work.
And that's a big difference, because it's interesting. You really need someone that lives and breathes real estate, because you really need to stay connected.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you have no idea. Like we were talking before, you really need to know someone that has the cutting edge and know what's going on in your area. You don't know if the market's hot, it's not, or if it's a buyer's market or a seller's market. It's like picking stock.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. That's exactly right. You also want someone that's been through both the good times and the bad times. And fortunately, right now in the Washington area, it's an area that's hot. People want to come here. We're very fortunate. If you put aside kind of the political stories and media and news and focus on business and people wanting to come to this area, just the natural beauty of the area, it's a hot area, and that's consequently we're fortunate in having people come in, and so drives, keeps the market hot.
Perfect. Well, by the way, if you're just tuning in, I have with me John Gregory, real estate agent with Washington Fine Properties, licensed in D.C. and Maryland. I'm your host, Todd Laborowit, and you're listening to Salem Broadcast Network, WRC 1260 AM. Now, John, let's talk about you as an individual. You've been in real estate for the last 10 years, but your first house goes back to the U.S. House of Representatives. What did you do with them?
That's correct. Well, I actually did a number of things. The last job I had was Director of Legislative Operations, which if you are an insomniac and watch C-SPAN or watch the House proceedings, it's all the people on the House floor, that all the administrative people, with the exception of the parliamentarians, that are responsible for the ongoing operations of the House. So I did that. It's been a long time. But
during whose presidency?
This was I actually served during 3 speakers. Carl Elbert, Tip O'Neill was the guy I was really associated with, and then Jim Wright a little bit.
Wow.
And then,
so you got a lot of stories down on the Hill.
Yeah, a few.
We won't get any out of you here.
Yeah.
And then your team, you partnered with your wife and your son, and you guys all joined Washington Fine Properties since January. What's it the feel like being at the new company, the new kid on the block?
Well, it's great. I mean, there were at Washington Fine Properties. I mean, it's just a phenomenal. It's just a phenomenal company, and just the culture is just very, very conducive to building a business, which is what the three of us want to do. It's there's a lot of senior people that are willing to help out, provide counsel, give you new ideas on how to run your business, what you need to do to get property sold. So it's we're still settling in, but it's been great.
And what are you seeing out there in the market? Like, what areas are you covering right now? I know it changes, but for our listeners, what are you seeing that's out there? A list. What's the market to you from your lens?
Well, the district remains very hot, and we're still seeing multiple offers in most areas. West End, Logan Circle, any place close to Metro is very hot. The younger buyers want to be in the city, want to be able, that's the lifestyle that just not have a car, just be able to go out on the street, It's very attractive.
What do we
I think
call
about moving back in myself. But so it's a very strong market. Montgomery County is good, maybe not quite as strong as the district, but it's with interest rates and the inventory that's kind of been building for the last few months. There's some great deals to be had in Montgomery County.
And where are those deals?
Well, Potomac's, a great place. You can buy a lot of house. You have great schools. You have the C&O Canal. You have the river. You have a lot of golf courses if you're into golf. So it's a great community. And their inventory since February has been building. For a while, we didn't have any inventory, but right now there are a lot of properties, a lot of choices for buyers. And then Bethesda's always strong. And the enclosed suburbs still are very, very strong.
Well, John, thank you so much for sharing me that insight. Well, John Gregory from Washington Fine Properties, licensed in D.C. and Maryland. If you'd like more information, please go to our website, toddlaborowit.com. That's toddlaborowit.com.